I will try to remind you things that you already know. So my ambition today is a very limited one, because you already know a lot of things, and we will just remind them. Okay, this is why these are my expectations. We will go to the principles. We will remind them at the end, but I would like to start with a survey to you. So I would present you some questions here. We won't have time to discuss all of them. Only those with a greenish blue mark on them, we will try to answer. I will ask you the question, and you will try to answer this way. If you agree, you raise your hand. Be careful how you do it. So more like this, okay? So, you can read some questions there, and you will answer. If you agree with what is written there, you raise a hand. If you are not sure, you will do like this. And if you disagree, you will do like this. Okay? Ready? Question. Sentence 1. Agree? Maybe? No. Second question. Sentence. Okay. Third question. Flexible rates is the exchange rate between euro and dollar. Should it be fixed, or let it be what the market will decide? So, yes, maybe, no. Okay? United States, our country. Replace United States by the name of your country. What? So, yes, maybe, no. Our country should eliminate, European Union should eliminate all agricultural subsidies. Yes, maybe, I don't know, no. Oh. Should politicians, our local politicians, should give money to make a huge stadium for the professional team? But the question is, no, they shouldn't. So we should cancel all these subsidies, because it's a subsidy when you build a stadium. So cancel all the subsidies to professional. I don't know. No.
Just for sports or for?
For professional sport franchise. It's very specific. Okay? Having a budgetary deficit is bad for the economy. Is it? Do you agree?
A large.
A large. Not a small one. A large deficit. Okay. Inflation. Who are the inflation factories in the world? Central banks? Is it a monetary phenomenon? or inflation comes because of greed. So it's too much money. This is why we have inflation. Agree? I don't know. And what about genetic GMOs? Should we accept them or not? So they. And the final set of questions. A minimum wage increases unemployment. So it's bad for you, young people. For me, I don't care. Is it a bad thing? Minimum wage, bad for young people? Increases unemployment? I don't know. No. And the final question, for biofuel, should we eliminate subsidies for biofuel? No biodiesel, no biogas, no. Should we eliminate the subsidies? Yes? I'm not sure. I don't know. No, we should keep them. So these are actual questions for a survey addressed to the members of the American Economic Association. So professional economists in USA. And you see the level of approval among economists. Okay? Here we had something like 70%, half, 20% with, or 25% with the minimum wage. You know, different degree of agreement. Economists are apart. We are thinking in a different way than the general public. Okay? Who's right? We are right because we are studying the problem. We know about it. We are studying it for half a century or some of us, but economists are studying it for a quarter of millennium at least, if we take the Adam Smith work as a starting point, which we shouldn't. What the hell? So this level of consensus is above 80% on almost all the questions. You know, the lowest consensus is 78%. Why I'm telling you this? Because there are a lot of jokes about economists who are not agreeing. You have two economists, you have three opinions, you know, you'd never have a straight answer. Well, yes, we have a lot of disagreements between us, okay? We have a lot of disagreements, but some elements are the core knowledge of our profession. We agree on many, many things. And our agreement is different from the agreement, from the ideas of the general public. Yes?
What are the dialog box appearing again? What are some uses of ethanol? Why is it important?
You put it in your car. You replace the gas made out of oil. It's a way of saving oil. It's considered by some, it was considered by some green movements as a way to save oil, to avoid production oil. Actually, you burn food. Yeah. It's, and now even people who promoted this as a way to avoid oil consumption, they are saying, well, it was a mistake. Why this happens? I'm pressing things. Okay, I will not do it anymore. Yes?
When was the survey made?
It was published in around 2014 or something. Yes. So it's from a mainstream economic textbook by Menkyu.
Yes, because about the minimum wage, I know there's a lot of empirical discussion and work, whereas the empirical work says that maybe...
Let's save it for the question.
Because I know there's a lot of economists that don't believe that, but I'm surprised in that.
Okay. We have a question for the session later. I will glad to answer to it, but I'm doing nothing. Huh? Okay, one more. Exports higher than imports. Would you like to export more than import? Or B? A or B? A. And do you want the capital coming into your country or going out of your country? Capital outflows, going out. I did nothing now. I really promise. So, capital out of your country or capital in?
Capital in.
A.
Like balance.
No, you have to choose between this. Balance is it's always $1 more or less. I did nothing. So, the answer is, I don't know. I cannot answer to these questions. I need more information to answer. But if you choose A and A, huh?
If you choose A, it's a bit perfectionist.
No, but it's about the coherence. I don't know why this happens, really. So you cannot have A and A. It's not coherent because words have meanings and you cannot have both of them simultaneously. And I will close it. This is just a way to show you why studying economics is important. Because you can be left-wing, right-wing, interventionist, not interventionist. But if you don't know the meaning of the words, you won't have the internal coherence of what you're saying. You will say things, you will want policies who are conflicting with each other. So we have a problem. We have a problem because not all the population is involved in economics. You go to high school. I don't know why this.
Maybe minimize it once.
Yes.
Maybe just
No,
minimize it.
let's take out the USB stick.
Yeah, do what? But I'm working on it. Nu l-am copiat.
It's loaded, so it doesn't.
Okay. I will take it back. So usually, people who are going to vote for a policy or another policy, they learn economics, usually until high school, and maybe watch some movies and read some novels, and this is how their economic knowledge comes. They acquire economic knowledge until a certain age, and it ends. They are not studying it in a systematic way. And the teachers, especially in France, I don't know what happens in other countries, but they have a very clear opinion about what the government should do. And they want the government should do a lot of things. And the level of education, economic education, even of economic teachers, is not enough, is not good. I interacted with some high school teachers in Romania, and I discovered this in an experimental way. Everybody knows something about economics. It's easy to have opinion. Everybody knows. Very few people will say, I don't know. What is your opinion on it? We are all experts in economics. Okay? And it's important to understand that the current generation of politicians studied economics, learned economics, with textbooks written by economists who are very much in favor of government intervention. So we have policies, the result of the textbooks who promoted economic intervention, public spending. So the shape of our policies is the consequence of the textbooks of the 50s, 60s, 70s. So ideas have consequences, okay? So what real good economists should do? Well, to explain that our profession made a lot of mistakes. We tried to oversell our discipline. Oh, we know a lot of things, we can do a lot of things, and we oversold it. We pretend to know and to be able to change, to improve things which were beyond our power and our control eventually. Okay? So the idea is to be a little bit more modest as an economist, to tell to politicians that, well, we cannot do. Usually we adopt a policy with the idea of improving compared to what the result would be on the market. Okay? This is at least how we sell it, the policy. Let's change the result of the market, of the decentralized interaction between people, and improve it somehow, by force, by the force of the government. Well, in most of the cases, we cannot do this, regardless of intentions, because another systematic mistake done in discussing policies is judging policies according to intentions. What is the objective of this policy? Help people to have, young people to have a higher salary. Let's increase minimum wage. Okay, what happens after that? Let's save oil. Let's do this and that. Oh, it's a good policy because it has good intention. Well, actually, economics, it's the science of unintended consequences. We try to show what is beyond the obvious. And it's old news, not fake news, it's old news, because this was already underlined by Frédéric Bastiat, a French economist, who made this difference between the good and the bad economist. The bad economist is trying to show only the direct, short-term consequence of a measure, of a policy, on a specific part of the population. And the good economist would go beyond and try to understand what would be the consequences on a larger scale and on the long run. So, what economists are doing? Well, we are myth busters. According to Don Boudreau, we are bringing the bad news to people. This is why people don't like us, because we are bringing very often bad news. We cannot do this, regardless of your intentions. And you know what? We also bring good news. And people don't believe us when we bring good news. We bring good news when we say it will be fine in the long run. Don't be afraid of the end of resources. No, having an increase in population is not a bad thing. Yes, unlimited growth is possible. And when we bring good news, people hate us even more. Okay, this is a bad it's a bad job to be an economist. We are not very popular, but we are right most of the cases. Okay, it's a way to fight populism. Okay? What is demagoguery? Is showing the benefits of a policy, exaggerating the benefits of the policy, while hiding, ignoring the costs. This is a very neutral definition, okay? And it's always the case. Our job is to show the consequences of the long term and on other people, and the unintended consequences. You can find books who will show you the results of applying the tools of the economist to different body of knowledge. Okay? And Mark Skousen called this science, economics, as an imperial science. Why? Because economists went beyond the very narrow frontier of their profession. We start to study about demography, we started to talk about crime, about politics, about the family, how many children, how many, the divorce rate, you know, a lot of things were discussed by economists, and economists studied and very often reached different conclusions than the professionals of that field. Okay? And those conclusions, the conclusions of the economists, were validated empirically somehow. Okay? So we went beyond just by using our tools. Well, the tools, this would be the most simplified, oversimplified version of our tools. You have supply and demand. You can understand it as incentives matter. You know, price go up, quantity supplied goes up. It means if you increase the reward, you will have more of that. Demand is about costs. The higher sacrifice you must make, the less you want to do it. The higher the cost, the higher the price you have to pay for something, the lower the quantity would be. So it's a way to explain a very important idea: incentives matter. It's not very complicated. The shortest version of our principles I was able to find is written by Mark Skousen, again, him. It's on one page. Do you know this? Okay, we'll go through it. A little bit longer, it's the shortest economics treaty. It's the story I Pencil. Okay? It's 6 pages, about 5-6 pages. And you have also a movie, because young generation prefer movies, so it's a 7 minutes movie. You'll have the references. By the way, I translated it in Romanian. And if you want a little bit more, there is a book, Common Sense Economics. It's very well structured, very well presented. It's, you know, a lot of explanations. It's a little bit more detailed. And you have, if I remember correctly, you have also a chapter on personal finance. It would be useful. So I strongly advise to check this book if you have. So I mentioned I mentioned the consensus, and I mentioned also the differences between the conflicts between economists. If we want to simplify it, we will have schools that are interventionist. The government should do more things because government is good, knows things, and he will improve compared to a laissez-faire policy. And you have the classical liberal who said, well, sometimes bad people are in charge. Sometimes it happens. Very often, people who are in charge, maybe they have good intention, but they have what we call tunnel vision. They just focus on, I don't know, preventing pandemics and just ignoring whatever happens in society. So yeah, we have a lower rate of diffusion of the virus, but we have a lot of mental health problems. We have economic crisis later and a lot of extremely damageable consequences. So this is one way to separate the economic schools. Actually, it's not two camps, it's a spectrum. It's gradual, it's more or less in some fields. The tools, and it's a little bit more complicated, but it's a good way to simplify. You have here, you cannot read it. Don't make slides like this. You cannot read it. It's a well-structured graph of economic schools. You will have it, and you have the source. You can find it very easily. And the idea is we have what we call the classical liberal school. We can start around here. Okay, this is prehistorical economics, but I would like to mention Richard Cantillon. It's very interesting from monetary theory, for example. And you have what we call British classical school and the French economist, one of them I already mentioned. And you have also Karl Marx. I don't remember exactly who mentioned the Communist Manifesto recommended by a communist friend. Well, Marx had an excuse to be Marxist. But after what we call the marginalist revolution, you know, there is no excuse to be a Marxist. Because those economists, Walras, Jevons, and Menger, the founder of Austrian School of Economics, they understood how the value, what the source of the value. Marx didn't understand this. Okay? So what's value was explained in three different ways, coherent and compatible, independently discovered around 1870. Okay? And after that, the central element of the Marxism, which is a value theory, the labor theory of value, was proven to be wrong. Okay? So Marxism is wrong at the theoretical level, and we know it. The consensus as among economists as presented by Mankiw is very similar to what we will discuss a little bit later, like now, economics in one page. So I have about 20 minutes left.
13.
How much?
13.
13?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do it faster, because you know it. So self-interest. Not to be confounded with being selfish. Okay? It's a central element in economics. People know what they want, or they must be left alone to decide what is good for them. I cannot decide for you what is good for you unless I'm making decision for my children, okay? Because we are talking about adults here. Okay, so self-interest. Economic growth. Economic growth is good. Okay, this is what help us to our life. It's important. Why we even mention this? Well, because in the 70s, a lot of serious people proposed zero economic growth, degrowth policies. They considered economic growth as a bad thing. Okay? Yeah, it was serious people, meeting in very nice hotels and talking about how to stop the economic growth, because economic growth will destroy the planet and and all mankind. Okay? We must remind this. Economic growth is good. Trade. It's a very easy one. It's easy to understand that exchange helps both parties. And they are improving their situation. You are not exchanging equal values. It's stupid to say this. Because when you go to the market and you buy apples, and you are on your way out, and you said, no, I will go back and ask for money, for a refund. The seller will be happy to give you money? Of course not. Because for him, your 5 euros or 10 euros has a higher value than the value of the apples. And you wouldn't be happy if the seller said, oh, sir, give me back the apples, take, because it's the same. Why are you upset? It's the same value. No. In exchange, we don't have the same value. It's two inequalities at the same time, which in our math, the math we are used to, it's impossible. It's either higher or lower or equal. It must be one. But in economics, you have this double inequality. Everybody gets something more in exchange of something less, according to his or her point of view. And this is, I think, for me, it's obvious. I don't understand how people are not able to understand this. But a lot of policies, a lot of stupid policies, damageable policies, are founded off just ignoring this very idea. Very simple idea, very simple to get. Competition. Competition is good. Competition is good, but we hate competition. Competition is good when everybody else is competing to serve you, to provide you something, is competing for your money. When you are trying to compete, you don't like it. You don't like competition. So now we understand a little bit why we have so many industries asking for special regulation to kick out competitors because their product or service is special. They want competition among their suppliers, but not on the market they are providing. Next, cooperation. A lot of textbooks are insisting about on the competition things. Economics, it's about competition. Yes, economics, it's about competition. A lot of competition happens, and competition is impossible to avoid when there are, at any specific point in time, limited amount of resources and unlimited needs. So, yes, competition is something central in economics. But let's not forget that we see all around us a lot of cooperation. We don't see it with our eyes. We need to make an effort to understand it. And the story of iPencil is about that. Decentralized, very complicated, impossible to draw in details cooperation to make just one simple product. Okay? So it's important to remember that economics is about cooperation, decentralized cooperation. Division of labor and knowledge. Again, you will, when you read that story, the story of the pencil, you will understand that every single person in the world has a very limited knowledge. Nobody knows to do any single product on this planet from the beginning to the end. However, by this cooperation, we are able to do it. How? Well, we specialized. We are becoming better in a specific part of the production process. We know how to do it faster, better, and our productivity increases. And this is a secret of economic growth. Increase productivity. Have more things with the same effort. And the key element here is division of labor at the beginning, which in time becomes division of knowledge. Imagine the economy as a huge puzzle with a lot of small pieces fitting together in a meaningful way, in a totally decentralized way. A rearranging puzzle, arranging and rearranging every single time. Okay? And those pieces of puzzle are pieces of knowledge. Dispersion of knowledge means exactly this. At the level of mankind, we know a lot of things. However, at individual level, our knowledge is very limited. We are just a piece of the puzzle. In the 90s, they discovered in the Alps a hunter died, frozen in the ice from the Neolithic period. Everything he had on him, some medicine, some clothes, probably was done by himself or by a member of the tribe. Very likely. Some maybe with exchange, but mostly it was done by him. Well, imagine a guy skiing and being trapped in an avalanche somewhere, discovered later. Everything he has on him is produced all over the planet, starting with the ski outfit and the cell phone and the watch and whatever he has on it. So, totally different. We are able to produce a lot more today because of this division of labor, specialization, exchange, which together brings a higher productivity. Profit and loss, easy to understand. Carrot and sticks, it's how it works. It's a way to stimulate, to reward people who are producing what is needed, and to discourage people who are not doing it right. Opportunity costs. It's important to understand that every decision has a cost. Even if you receive from your grandma some money for free, okay, It's free. Now you have to write her letters to phone her, but it's a gift, okay? It's a gift. It's a gift. You found something, $100 bill. You found it. It's free. No effort for it. But when you make a decision what to do with that 100 euros, you will have a cost. Because you can go on a trip, you can spend it with your friends, or you can save it and invest it. Every decision you make will have an opportunity cost. You decide something, you lose something else. And people are not understanding this, and this is why we have a lot of nostalgic people from the communist period in Romania. Oh, the communists built this and that. Yes, but at what cost? Okay? They forgot about the opportunity cost, the missed opportunities. Price theory, how the prices are for, it's something I already mentioned with the supply and demand. Causality, already mentioned. You make a decision, you will get consequences, good or bad. Nothing happens without a cause. Okay? And the interactions at the social level, at the economy level, at country level, are so complex. Very seldom one event has only one cause. It's a lot of things, a lot of actions are happening at the same time. So this is why sometimes we have disagreements like with minimum wage, what are the proper effects of this and that regulation. This is why we have stronger disagreements among economists at the macroeconomic level, not at the microeconomic level. Why? Because it becomes more and more complex. You don't know. Future cannot be predicted. Tell this to your favorite astrologist. Okay? We don't know. We cannot predict it. I will come back to number 13, I'm sure. And government control. When you block prices, we know since Hammurabi that every price control, every price fixed by the government will make things worse. If you want to solve a problem by fixing prices, you won't solve it and you will make it worse. This is what economists know. This is why, should we do this and that with the prices? The answer is no. We don't even care about what is the specific element, but we tend to say no to this intervention. I won't insist on money because you agree that inflation is a monetary phenomenon, and public finance, this is probably the most complicated. I will I will stop here because it ends here. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so thank you, Radu. I have a list here with the team assignments for today. So I will show you the list of where you're supposed to go and insert the questions into the little app so that we have them later. And then you can all come here, I'll pin this to the board and you can see which team you're allocated to. Since this is the first time, there are names here next to each of the teams with the places where you're supposed to meet and discuss and come up with questions. I will probably have to show you where those places are for the first time. Okay, so we have room Popper, which is the last room on the left here in the hallway. Room Arendt, which is upstairs on the hall that goes to the elevator. room Naumann, which is the one at the bottom of the hallway, the one with the glass doors as you enter. And then it says here fireplace and computers. These are both in the lobby. I hope they're self-explanatory. You look for the fireplace, you sit by the fireplace, you look for the computers in the lobby, and you sit there and work. I'll show you exactly where they are in a bit. Let me give you the address. Yeah.
Maybe explain again what they're supposed to do, because not everyone was here last time.
Yes, but let me do the address first. So the address is ies-europe.org/QA. This is a Q, okay? This is my version of a Q. Okay, this is a G, this is a Q. Okay, so that's the address where you're supposed to go. So, based on the talk that you just heard, you're supposed to come up with 3 questions per group. Okay? No more, no less. So the best 3 questions that you can come up with, you insert them into the system. By the way, you can insert them one by one. So you write the question, you hit send, and then you can ask another one and hit send again, or you can put them all at the same time. Your choice. And then you will have about 25 minutes to do this, and then we will come back here and Radu will answer the questions that you're sending through the system. Okay? So if you want to be nice to Radu and help him, then as soon as you decide the question is good, send it through so he can already see it. If not, just leave them on for the end, and he'll be surprised when we get back. Okay? Is that clear for everyone?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. Let's try to be on time with the question.
This time.
Cheers. Come see the list.
Super.
It's okay? Are you still thinking about something on the presentation?
Yeah. What I should do differently or something, you know.
Some cases every day?
Yes, all the rooms are open.
You can just go to the room and everybody will hopefully.
I need to get my.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so let me.
oui. Alors, qu'est-ce que...
Well, I mean, I don't know. I really like the first part. The second part, maybe the list is a bit too long. You know, when you go through those 25 points.
To those.
Economics in one page, you know, when you do that, and then there are like you know, it's what 18 points or I don't know, like 16 points.
Yeah.
This is a bit, but yeah, just but I don't remember. But I was surprised you don't mention Hazlitt, the economics in industry.
I think it's outdated. I think it's outdated. He's mentioning problem they had in it. I use it with my students, but I won't recommend it with a lot of enthusiasm. It's not necessarily the best.
Yeah, I was. Then the 2 other little things. I mean, there are many very good things. I mean, it's. I like the Neolithic guy. That's great. The Mythbusters. Good news, bad news is very good. That's very smart. Actually, I'm going to probably use it in my name. I don't think it's true that Marx
Tu peux parler en français.
Et je pense pas que Marx est mort avec.
Non, le marxisme. C'est la théorie de la valeur. Hein. C'est l'élément central. C'est l'élément central. Toute sa thèse d'exploitation.
Oui, si tu fais l'économie de Marx. Oui. Mais sur le fond, lui, ce qu'il dit. Et c'est que, ben voilà, dans un système de propriété, c'est ça le capitalisme, voilà, il y a une inégalité, parce que c'est ça qui fait que le marxisme est toujours vivant, parce que lui il dit le système de propriété crée des inégalités, celui qui a plus de propriété va exploiter les autres.
Non, c'est la pro. Donc il dit que le travail est la seule source de la
Oui,
valeur.
Non, mais ça,
Donc,
je sais,
voilà.
je l'ai enseigné.
Non,
ça.
bon, donc
oui, mais sur le fond, ce que les gens ont... Ça, c'est après, quand il a voulu donner à cet argument un aspect scientifique. Et donc, il a dit, pour montrer qu'en fait, c'est d'autant plus injuste que c'est le travailleur, le non-propriétaire qui crée toute la valeur. Et là, il a sorti sa théorie. On est bien d'accord. Sa théorie, elle ne tient pas la route. La théorie de la valeur du travail ne tient pas la route. Il a pris chez Ricardo, etc. Bon, on est tous d'accord. Mais sur le fond, la raison pour laquelle, et c'est ça qui est plus difficile finalement, la raison pour laquelle finalement il a gagné, c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui aujourd'hui encore pensent exactement comme Marx que finalement dans ces relations marchandes, dans le système capitaliste, le propriétaire est capable
d'imposer,
d'avoir toujours le meilleur deal, quoi, finalement. Et donc c'est vachement injuste. Et ça, il pense que la seule façon d'y remédier, c'est en faisant sauter la propriété. Voilà. Et ça, il y a des gens qui en sont toujours, et c'est plus dur à réfuter. La théorie de la valeur travail, elle a été réfutée. Voilà, on est d'accord. Mais cet aspect-là, on peut dire, c'est pas